Facts, 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 facts word. And it's happening a lot. I'm here today and I am talking again on my story because I was asked by a lot of, let's put it like this. A lot of these young ladies out here look for people. And why? I don't know why a lot of people come to me. I've had men come to me and talk to me about, their personal issues. And what's crazy is instead of me speaking on their story, because they're not ready for it, I'll speak on mine. My story is not up no more on my main page. And I am going to put it over here because I'm not ashamed of how I spoke on my story the first time. I was hurt when I spoke on it. I was really hurting. When I spoke on my story, I was in a place where, like, I just needed to let it out. It didn't matter how, but it needed to come out. Because if I didn't let that out, I could have probably reacted on everything that I was feeling. And it's like that. Like, you need to let it out. Fuck what people think. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. But listen, man, screw what people think. What they think shouldn't matter to us when we're speaking about something that's real. When we're speaking about something that we've been through. Unless they've walked a mile in our shoes, what they think about us shouldn't matter. Unless they got some advice, what they think about us shouldn't matter. For real, for real. Because they would have to sit here and hear you out before they judge you, and people judge you before they hear you out. You know what I've noticed? Even with me putting my story out there, people don't listen to the whole story and they'll sit here and jump to conclusions. And they'll sit here and twist it up and come up with whatever they want to come up and speak. Go ahead. Regardless of anything, I know what I went through. You wasn't there. Regardless of anything, I know that what I'm saying is going to help the next person because I'm not just speaking on what I went through. I'm actually speaking on how I overcame the situation. And that's what we need these kids to hear. There are ways to overcome these situations. They're thinking that there's no way that they could overcome the situation. They're thinking that popping pills, drinking, and going out there and lashing out is the best way to go about the situation. And it's not. And us, the ones that have been through it, should know better. But you know what? A lot of us act worse than the kids out here. That's the crazy part. Y'all would sit here and protect the predator and bash the victim. And what's crazy is when y'all find out that y'all messed up, y'all want people to sit here and feel sympathy. Y'all want people to sit here and feel petty. That wasn't a mistake. Y'all did that because y'all wanted to be cruel, because y'all wanted to, y'all 5 minutes, 15 minutes of fame for 1 second. And that's not how it should be done. Because the ones y'all should be coming at and doing all that shit to, y'all don't. It's like y'all scared of these predators out here. That's the funny part. And I know that personally because I once came at one. And when I tell you the last fact that I got here on social media, I'm sitting there, I'm like, how can y'all not tell by the way this person is talking that he is this way? You could tell when you're looking at somebody through the screen. I got two screens right now, the laptop and this main screen, right? And if right here, I can't really see, but if I come over here and I look at the screen that's bigger and I'm looking at the behavior, I'm looking at this person's eyes, everything, you could tell when somebody's lying. You could tell when somebody's telling the truth. You could tell when somebody's telling something that's coming right from the heart. But some people just don't give a fuck. I didn't mean to say it like that, but I had to say it like that because it's the truth. How can y'all sit here and make fun of somebody that is sitting here trying to find a way to let it out? I've been there, done that. So it's not hard for me to sit here and say, yo, I can't go into details, right? Into what was done to me. But I'm going to sit here and say that it wasn't easy, right? It wasn't easy being a little kid, not knowing the things that was being done to you and why they were being done to you. Not knowing that people that are older than you that are supposed to protect you are not supposed to do these things to you. And when you ask and when you try to figure out what's going on, the person that you love gets hurt. Because I'm telling y'all, like, yo, I used to try to figure out why. Why was it that this man would sit here and wait for my mom to leave, to sit here and just come and drag me from my bed because the rooms here, these are two-story houses with basements, right? And back then, before my mom started fixing the houses, it's 3 rooms, bathroom upstairs. The first 2 rooms, the main room and the middle room, had a door that would connect that you could walk in and you could check on the kids if you had to, whatever. It's not a closet, it was actually a door. You could open it, main room, you're into the parents' room, open it, and then you also had the door to go into the hallways on both rooms. So he would wait for my mom to leave, go to work, do whatever she had to do. Yo, imagine. Like, that's the hardest thing. Like, yo, when I first said this, those are the type of words that came out my. But all I can say is, look, listen, man. I can never forget the times this man would drag me out, and I don't want nobody to ever feel what I felt. Like, it was hard for me to get them pictures out of my head, especially the ones that I forgot. And when I would come into this house, something would trigger it, and I would remember. And I'm sitting here like, yo, I don't want to think about this. I don't want to remember this because it caused me so much pain. But this was a man that would sit here and drag a child from her feet out her bed into another room and start doing things to her while she kicked, while she screamed, while she shouted. She didn't want it. She didn't know what was going on. Her brother would come in. Y'all know that my brother wasn't born with schizophrenia though? It skipped my brother. But what happened was them knocks to the head that he got defending me, them hits to the head. At times he would get 10 to 20 staples in the head because he would bash his head in so that he wouldn't speak, so he could put fear in me so I wouldn't talk. That's how he would get me to shut up. There was a time where I spoke up and I thought I was doing the right thing. I spoke up. I went to a school, right? And what's crazy is that morning he had woke up. He came downstairs. I was sitting down. I was making my brother's breakfast, his breakfast. I was getting myself together for school. My brother was getting himself together for school. And he's coming down and he's trying to do what he does. He starts putting his hands inside my chest. Around that time, I was 8 years old. Period. Crazy as shit. Yes, period. And I was developing breast. And he started doing, started just doing. I'm not going to go into details. My brother comes my brother comes down the steps and he stops him. He pulls out this big Mexican belt. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, y'all can go Google that shit. It's a real big Mexican belt. Thick. Like it's made out of like skin with a buckle about this big that said Mexico right across it. Then first time I got up and I got in the middle of it. I started cursing him out and I started kicking and he went trying to hit my brother again. He caught me. I went to the school that day with marks on my arm. They called DHS. That was the first time ever that I spoke up. And when DHS came to the house, I had to lie. Because my mom put fear in me. And now I was scared. Because I thought that if they took him, they would lock her up. She knew what was going on. And she not once spoke up. And when people say, why is your friendship, why your friendship with your mom is like, it's like that because of how she brought us up, how she raised us. So I can understand when a child out here or when a woman or a man comes up to me and says, yo, I went through this in my household and I don't know who to go to. How can I talk about this? It's not something easy to talk about. It's the hardest thing to talk about. It is so hard that at times people can't even get one word out. And that's how I was when I first came on here. It was hard for me. I was talking. I was saying what I had to say, but not like this. Like, speaking on sexual assault is the hardest thing to speak on. And when I tell y'all that when I spoke on this situation a few years back, before I sat here and spoke on the situation online, I had to kind of speak to my kids and explain to them what I went through. I had to, because it was going to get to them. And I didn't want to traumatize them. So I had to break this down. That's why it was kind of like also hard for me to speak on camera when I spoke on it, because I had to break this down to two kids, a preteen and a kid. Like, I think my youngest at the time was 7, 8 years old. And I didn't go into details, but I had to break it down in a way that they could understand. Going into details, never. I don't think I know a person that could sit here and go into details about their sexual assault and somebody could actually understand where they're coming from. I don't think that the audience wants to picture what a grown man has actually done to a little child. I don't want to keep picturing it. Talking about it is hard when you're trying to block out them images you don't want to see as you're speaking on it. So I'm trying to get y'all to understand that a survivor speaking on their story, y'all think it's something easy and it's not. But they doing it because they're being selfless. They're not being selfish. They're being selfless. They're trying to help the next person. They're trying to motivate the next person come out of whatever ditch they jumped into, whatever hole they buried themselves into, trying to, give a leaning hand, trying to help them, grab them, trying to help them come out whatever waters they're drowning from. That's what they're doing. That's what we're doing when we speak on these type of stories. We don't want people to sit here and imagine, what I went through wasn't easy. I don't want y'all to picture that. I had to sit here and defend myself every night and every morning against a predator. I was forced to sit here. And it's crazy because it's something I don't like to talk about, but I'm gonna be very honest. See, a lot of females talk about, oh, they love giving head, they love doing this, and some might laugh because of the way I just said it. But I'm trying not to be so serious as I go and I speak on this. But when you're forced to do that, and you're a child, and you're sitting here, like, now that I'm older, like, these predators is nasty. Like, to watch a child actually gag and throw up and still force them to do some stuff like that. I understand where a lot of these kids, a lot of these women, and a lot of these men are coming from. There's a lot of things, and I'm not going to go into details, but there is a lot of things that I can't do sexually like a lot of people can because of what I've been through. And I'm not saying I got a fucked up sex life. It's just that I'm not as sexually active as a lot of these females are out here. And I know that a lot of females that have gone through this type of trauma, and I'm not ashamed to say it,